Everything is increasing except for your paycheck. Now, why do you think that is?
Everything is increasing
You know,
except
if
for
you're just
your.
working one job, or maybe you're working two or three jobs, you're finding it increasingly difficult to start maintaining your current way of life and your current lifestyle that you and your family have grown accustomed to. So this is where us that are already been in the industry for a while, we're seeing opportunities because more individuals, just like you guys, are starting to look at life insurance as a way to provide additional services to people in your community. And one, not only learn the rules of the money game, uh, because I mean, you can learn some rules, you can learn some tax benefits and stuff in real estate industry, but if you really want to get an in-depth look at how the wealthy build and compound wealth, how they minimize the taxes they pay, you really need to get involved in the financial services industry. So this is why more and more Americans, especially in the middle class, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're looking at this industry as something that they can get into because it's got a very low cost of entry. It's like 99 bucks for pre-licensing in your state that you have to go through. You have to get a license, so you can't be a felon. You can't have any kind of embezzlement charges. You can't have any bankruptcies that you're currently going through. They can be old bankruptcies. It doesn't matter. But guys, you're dealing with people's money, so it's you have to hold a license to be able to do that. But let me know in the chat, guys, what city and state are you guys logging into from? Any questions you guys have, I'll try to answer them as we go along. I'm kind of keeping track of multiple areas here. So as I see you guys on TikTok, chime in. I'll answer your questions. And when I see you guys on YouTube, Facebook, even if you guys are watching the replay on Facebook or YouTube, let me know what city and state you guys are logging in from. We got Enid, Oklahoma. We got Lucian in here from Enid, Oklahoma. NASB or FFL? Neither. I'm familiar with FFL. That's Family First Life or Family Last Life, if I want to poke a little fun at them. NASB, I don't know what that one is. But no, I'm not affiliated with either of them. I'm an actual independent licensed fiduciary agent. So we write business with a bunch of different carriers, multi-billion-dollar carriers, been in the industry for over 100 years or more. We don't deal with any of the little mom and pop insurance companies. We're not captive. So even though you may have Jake from State Farm, for instance, as your representative. Well, Jake from State Farm, guess what? He can only sell you a State Farm product, even if it's not in your best interest. So, and then with life insurance, you always want to get a second, third opinion, guys. If you're getting a life insurance policy for you or your loved one, and you're going through the same agent or the same broker that you have your home, auto, motorcycle, and boat with, you might want to get a second opinion from a life only agent to make sure everything is structured properly, because there's a lot that goes into life insurance that just the average Joe Schmo insurance agent that does property casualty and all that kind of stuff just doesn't know. So he'll stick you in a term policy when there's something that could be more beneficial out there for you and your family. But anyway, guys, let's get into it. So I want to go through a couple of talking points today. We had a meeting today with some of our agents and a couple of our business partners. Did you guys know? Let me know in the chat. Did you guys know that back in the 1970s, there were over 500,000 active life insurance agents in our industry, in the financial services industry? And that was in the 70s. Well, what do you think those guys were doing? And I say guys because the majority of them were men. Women really weren't in the life insurance industry back in the 70s. So you had a bunch of middle-aged white guys, and that's the majority of the industry, was a middle-aged white guy, anywhere between 40 and 60 years of age, walking around your neighborhood streets in a suit. And they'd walk up and down your street, walk up your sidewalk, and knock on your front door. Well, when's the last time someone walked up your sidewalk and came rapping at your front door and you opened it up for them, invited them into your home, and sat down at the kitchen table to talk about life insurance? Probably never, right? I mean, it's 2024. You usually don't invite people into your home anymore, and that's why we have Zoom. Zoom opened up the world whenever COVID hit to the insurance industry, and those of us that are capitalizing on it and capitalizing on the social media platforms and going digital versus the old school ways of knocking on doors and making cold calls. We're seeing explosions in our business, and this is why I teach my agents how to utilize social media and the different types of platforms and market themselves. Because, guys, I mean, would you rather have somebody in control of your commissions and giving you fish, or would you rather be able to attract fish and go fishing for yourself to not have to rely on somebody providing you leads? The majority of the industry still uses leads and still pays for leads. So, for instance, with the insurance world, it averages $60 per lead. And a lot of the majority of the what's called chargebacks come from cold call leads. You have no relationships with these people. So you're a transaction. That's all you are to the. And those of you guys that are following me already on TikTok and on a couple of other platforms here, I try to build relationships with you guys. I mean, those of you that are clients with me, you're clients because you know that once you become a client with me or any of my agents that I bring on, you're family, guys. You can text me anytime. You can call me anytime. You can like stuff on social media. You can send me messages, send me little videos. I'll send you stuff back. I send gifts out to my clients. We're a family together. If they're down here in the Dallas area with me or up in Oklahoma, where some of my family live, anytime I go up there to visit, I make it a point to swing by and visit them and say, hey guys, what's up, man? I was in the area. I remember you like this whiskey, or I remember you like this wine, or I remember you wanted one of these hats or whatever. Let's drop it off and say what's up to them. Have cookouts a lot. We do stuff at the lake all the time down here in Lake Lewisville in the Dallas area. Rent jet skis, rent pontoons, go to and have cookouts, that kind of stuff. So, guys, if you're not building relationships, if you're not providing value and adding value to your followers and your clientele and your agents or your business partners, then they're not going to want to follow you. They're not going to want to do business with you. So when you're the average insurance agent and you're out there and you're purchasing leads, you have nothing with these people. It's all transactional, and you're paying $60 on average per lead. There's some insurance companies that expect you to spend $2,000 or more per week just for a sheet of names and numbers to call. And you're probably calling these people, and it's the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th time that these people have been called by an insurance professional. So they're not even answering your calls at that point. That's the downfall with one of our financial groups. So that's why I don't teach my agents how to purchase leads. I don't want them to know how to purchase leads. One, it costs them money, and their money needs to be going in their pocket and feeding their families and providing the lifestyle of their dreams. Another thing, guys, if you guys aren't familiar with the insurance world, is we're not paid from our clients. We're paid based on the annual premium or target premium that we're setting these policies up with from the carrier. So we're paid from the carrier, not from our clients. That's what sets us as insurance professionals apart from the financial advisors that are out there in the world. Financial advisors, you got to keep in mind, I mean, it's kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street. Remember that scene when Leonardo DiCaprio first gets started in the financial services industry, or not financial, the financial advisors industry? He's a stockbroker, guys. Him and Matthew McConaughey are in the penthouse having lunch. They're beating their chest going, Remember that scene? It was a good movie. But also remember what Matthew McConaughey was telling Leonardo DiCaprio in that scene is, yes, we want our clients to become rich. We want them to think they're wealthy, but then whenever they do have this large amount of money and they gain a lot of money in the stock market, we'll have a epiphany, and we'll have a great idea, and we'll have them reinvest in other things. That's a financial advisor's job, guys. They're paid to have money under management. So when you're paid to have money under management, you don't want your clients to get rich and pull their money out and use it. They want you to reinvest in the market so that they have more money under management. And while, yeah, you're getting rich on paper, they're getting rich with commissions And while you are hoping to drive that Lambo one day, they're driving it around Wall Street. That's a financial advisor, guys. They're paid whether you win or whether you lose. An insurance agent is paid based on the annual premium or the target premium, whichever is the lowest, by the carrier, not from the client. So it's pretty cool. It's a win-win. Everyone wins. Another reason I got into this industry versus going to Wall Street or getting into real estate. Real estate's a sexy industry, guys. Real estate is a sexy industry, but the majority of the real estate agents out there are not the wealthy ones. The wealthy ones are the real estate investors. Well, what happens when you start looking at all the investors and what they did, what they are doing? They're in the financial services industry. That's where the majority of them got their start. They learned how money worked. Okay, if you don't know how money works and how money grows, it's a game, guys. If you don't know the rules of the game, it's hard to win at the game. So you have to learn how money works and how money grows. What's going on, Christina? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Austin, what is that last name? Kielty? Austin Kielty. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. Hey, let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know. What city and state are you guys logging on from? We got Oklahoma, we got Texas in the house, we got some people from Florida in the house. Christina asks, I want to be an insurance agent and then a broker. Is that possible? Absolutely, it's possible. You're in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Nice. Ashley, thanks for tuning in from Mississippi. Appreciate you, Ashley. So absolutely, it's possible. It's not a hard industry to get started in, guys. That's why a lot of people are starting to go into the industry and get started with even no financial services background. I didn't have a financial services background when I got started. I knew nothing but turning wrenches for a living. Okay, I was a heavy equipment mechanic for 11 years. Before that, I was a Harley Davidson mechanic for 8 years. Before that, I was actually in car sales in the parts department. So I was in the motorcycle, automotive, and the heavy equipment world. I wasn't in the money world, guys. So this is something that anyone can learn. If I can learn it, you guys can learn it. Okay? It's not out of reach for anyone, not by any means. And it's something that you guys can get started on a part-time basis. I ran this business from the cab of my work truck learning this business. Okay? I was partnered up with a broker. He took me under his wing. He was a multiple six-figure earner, and his goal was to make me a multiple six-figure earner as fast as possible. Okay? So that's what we did is he ran all my appointments for 7 months. Okay. And the only reason that he only did it for 7 months and that I started doing it more is not only did I feel more competent and confident in what I was doing, being on all these appointments with him, but I was laid off. So, and this was during COVID. So when COVID happened, everybody was doing these massive layoffs. I was one of them. And it happened right after I asked this question. Okay, I always pray about everything, guys. So I turned to God and I was like, God, this is the most I've ever made. As far as paychecks go, if you want to look at it as paychecks. And I was like, this is the most I've ever made. I can't imagine what I could do in this industry if I could transition to full time. So during that weekend, I was one of the middle class employees. Blue collar workers. It was like, you know what? I'm hating what I'm doing. I don't like it. I don't like it anymore. I don't enjoy it anymore. My back hurts. My knees hurt. I had heat stroke. I can't do this the rest of my life. And it was one of those realization moments like, I need to look at something else. And I was already doing this on a part-time basis. Do you make six? I do. When did the boxing happen? Weren't you in? Oh, yes, I was. That was way back. Damn, I guess it was way back. So Christina asked when I was in MMA. I was in MMA. I was a part of Team Impact in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. They're still around. The mentor that I had when I was in MMA, his name was Gary Wild, and unfortunately he passed away, which is kind of what catapulted me into this industry is life insurance. Now it's run by another one of the coaches I had, Mark Barrett, and I'm still in communication with Mark. And Team Impact. I follow him on my Instagram and stuff. If you're in the Oklahoma area and you're looking to get into MMA or martial arts, might give them a follow, look them up, check them out, tell them I sent you. But that was when I was in, I was in wrestling in high school, and then I went into MMA and started learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all that kind of stuff, Aikido, judo when I was in college. So I did it for about 6 years while I was in college. But anyway, guys, appreciate the likes. Appreciate the likes, Ashley. What's going on, Jim Bell? But anyway, guys, this is an industry you can get started on a part-time basis. It's super easy. It's got a very low barrier of entry as opposed to real estate does. And so that's why another reason I started part-time to supplement my income is because I could do it mobily. I could be in the cab of my work truck, learning the language of the business, learning the presentations. Guys, I didn't start out with all this. I didn't start out with a studio. I didn't start out with microphones, sound equipment, cameras, lighting. I didn't have any of this stuff. I had a phone. That's it. So I had a phone holder in my air vent of my work truck that I was in. I kept a clean polo shirt in the cab of my work truck. I would be working on something. My phone would ding, remind me of an appointment I had coming up about 15 minutes prior. I'd gojo my hands all up, clean all up, get in my work truck, throw my clean polo shirt on, fix my hair a little bit. I'd hop on the appointments just with my phone, and I would introduce my broker that I was training under. He ran all my appointments. So I provided the likability, he provided the credibility. Now that's what I do with my agents. I provide the credibility, they provide the likability, so I can help them train and get them built up. Guys, I've built myself up. It's time to pass the torch. You have to pass the torch, and that's what brokers do. It's kind of like a real estate agent. You have agents, and then you have brokers. The agents are training to become brokers. Once you're a broker, then you have the ability in some companies, not in all, but to become partners in the company. So in the beginning stages of the life insurance industry, it's set up like real estate. In the later stages of life insurance industry, as a broker, it's set up more like a law firm. Okay, so that's the basic structure. Christina asks, I've heard the insurance exam is pretty difficult. It is if you're not prepared. I'll say that. It is if you're not prepared. And that's what's so important about pre-licenses. So the record in our company is 11 hours. It was set by a realtor out in California. She wanted to get her license, provide additional income in between her closings and additional services that she could offer to her existing clients. Okay. So that's why she wanted to get involved in the industry. She got licensed in 11 hours. Well, she went through pre-licensing. She went through pre-licensing and passed her exam in 11 hours. It took her about another 24 hours to actually get her license and do the fingerprinting and all that. But the pre-licensing, we use a company called Excel Solutions. If you were to use that company as an independent on your own by yourself, it'd be around $205, $208. We get discounts through our organization because we have so many licensed agents or pre-licensed agents that go through it to get licensed. So it's instead of $205, it's $99 if one of our guys go through it. It costs nothing to be part of our platform because we're an education-based platform. So if this is something that you're considering or at least just wanting to look into, getting your license and seeing what the training is like, guys, we have entrepreneur workshops most of the time on Saturday mornings, open to everybody. All you got to do is get an invite link from me, and you get invited to the entrepreneur workshop. You hop on, you hear about the company. You can stick around for one of the trainings afterwards to see how we train our guys. And if it's something you want to move forward with, you just say, hey, man, I'm ready to do it. I got $99. Let's do this thing. It takes like 15, 20 minutes to get you set up on the platform. You pay your $99. You get your pre-licensing courses, your welcome emails. You get added to our groups where we have our chat and everything, our group chats and our Zoom links for all the training throughout the week. One thing about my guys is our agents can never say we have a lack of training because we have trainings that are going on every single day, and not just from us. You're hearing trainings from us, from our business partners, from my uplines, from the partners of the company. You're also getting access to all the carriers. So once you're licensed, all the carriers that we work with, we have over 40 of them, but you get to actually be on the licensed agents training calls with those carriers. So not only are you learning how we structure policies for things like executive bonus, key person policies, infinite banking concepts, life insurance, retirement plannings. These are all what's called advanced market strategies. That's what I do. And the reason I do that is because that's what my upline did. So I don't deal with life insurance a lot as far as just selling a life insurance policy for death. I don't do that. Why would you benefit, your client and their family with just protecting them if they passed away? It doesn't make any sense. Why not protect them when they pass away? Protect them while they're alive in case life throws them a curveball, and then protect their wealth and build their wealth and help them build wealth and provide a lasting legacy that they can teach their kids, and their kids can teach their kids and pass it on. It's one thing to pass on things for your family, but it's a whole nother story when you start passing on knowledge and the things that your parents didn't teach you because maybe they just didn't know. It's hard to pass on things that if you don't know, you don't know. So, but as far as Christina says about asking if the insurance exam is hard, it's not hard. That's the reason we use this third-party platform for our licensing, is because generally with each state, and each state's different because life insurance is governed by the state, but life insurance, the pre-licensing courses, there's generally 12 to 13 modules that you'll go through, and each module has a practice course or a practice test at the end of each module. And the practice tests on our third party that we use, they're verbatim, word for word. You're going to questions and answers you're going to see on the state license exam, which is why we have such a good rate when it comes to agents that get enrolled in pre-licensing and pass their exam the first time. So if this is something that, like I say, you guys want to learn more about, hey, I want to get on the entrepreneur workshop this Saturday, ask me about it, send me a DM, drop me a comment. Or if you're just ready to pull the trigger, hey, I got $99, I want to get started, I'm diving into this thing. I'd love to talk to you more about it and see if you'd be a good fit for our team. We don't accept everybody just because we have high morals, values, principles. And I don't, frankly, just being bluntly honest with you guys, I don't want to bring a cancer into our organization that's going to cause everybody else to second guess or doubt themselves or, whatever. I just don't need negativity. And so we have fun. We have a lot of fun with our guys. We have a lot of fun with our trainings. Depending on which training you're on, we do have, for the part-timers, the standards are a little bit more relaxed. You can be ear hustling, if you will, if you got something that you got to do, or you're doing some stuff around the house. If you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, you can kind of have an earbud in, just be ear hustling, have your camera off. But then as you're progressing along, obviously you're going to get more and more locked in when you get on full-timers call or when you get on leadership calls, things like that. You're going to be more locked in. You're going to be in an office setting down, no distractions, pen and paper, because you don't want to miss any nuggets. And we drop plenty of them. I'll just be talking just like this, and I hope I'm providing value to you guys today. But there's so many people that come on trainings and they don't have a pen and paper. They're just hoping to absorb it. And guys, you just can't absorb this stuff. Some of it you might catch, but write it down. Take notes. Note takers are history makers, and more importantly, note takers are money makers. So I appreciate that, Ashley. Appreciate that. I'm glad I'm bringing value to you guys. But what I'm going to do now is we're going to transition. We're going to talk about a few talking points. Now that we talked on opportunity and a little bit about the industry, we did briefly mention earlier there was 500,000 active licensed life agents back in the 70s. And this is another reason why a lot of people are looking at the insurance industry, is because today, as of today, this is as of January 1st, 2024, there are only 108,000 active licensed life agents. Means there's only 108,000 active agents that have submitted at least one policy in the past year. And this is another thing. 90%, like I said before, but the leads, 90% of our industry still pays for leads. We don't teach our guys how to pay for leads. Those relationships are transactional. They don't last. So there are high chargebacks. Chargebacks are and this is with any insurance. This is with life. This is with property casualty. This is with home auto. This is with phone insurance. When you have a client that does not pay their policy and their policy lapses, it's a chargeback. The reason it's called a chargeback is because in the insurance industry, as a licensed agent, you actually are paid 12 months in advance for everything that you do. It's a pro and a con. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, meaning that if you don't write good business and you don't keep up with your clientele and build that relationship with them, then the policy lapses, the money that the insurance company paid you for the year, they prorate it and they charge back the portion that the policy lapsed. Now, after 12 months, that doesn't happen. Okay, so it's only a 12-month, your first 12-month period. And then another thing about the insurance world is you do have what's called residual income streams with life insurance. Residual income means every single year that that policy is kept on the books and in force, you get paid again. As you are increasing your business, as you're writing more and more policies and protecting more and more families and teaching them the rules of the money game, every single year that goes by, you have an exponential income that's growing, and it's definitely outpacing the rate of inflation. It's more than what you would see at your typical job where you only get like a 2% raise every year. That's a cost of living raise. They have to do that, guys. So anytime they pull you in the office to do the annual review to see if you're a good employee or not, and they say, we're going to decide, we decided to give you a raise. They didn't decide to give you a raise. They have to give you a raise. It's a 2% cost of living raise. So hate to burst your bubble with that. But they're also saying this is just stuff that I've looked up from a couple of websites, guys. Investopedia, Zippa. Zippa was one I looked up this one from. We talked about it this morning in our morning meeting with a couple of our partners, business partners. The 90% of the industry pay for leads. Also 90% of the industry, they make $70,000 a year or less. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that the average life insurance agent only makes $70,000 per year? I'm looking at TikTok because they've been a little bit more active than the rest of you guys. But I'll just go ahead and tell you. What's going on, Mitch? Mitch probably knows. But anyway, guys, 90% of the industry makes $70,000 or less because they deal with death. They sell life insurance as it's death insurance, and that's not what it is. I mean, yeah, your typical group term policies, like a policy you would get through your work, that's a group term policy. There's no medical underwriting. It's extremely affordable, but it's also a tax write-off for the employer. And it's basically, it covers you and pays out about a 1 year or sometimes 2 years of your annual salary. That's all. Usually it maxes out at 25 or 50,000, which 50,000 is the most you can get with a final expense policy. But the best type of insurance, guys, is something that you actually own. A group term life insurance you don't own. Your employer owns. So when you leave that place of business, you're no longer covered. So this is also why you want something in place now when you're young, when you're in your 30s and 40s, because you hopefully don't have any major health problems and you can still get approved. When you don't have any of your own coverage that you own and you're relying on that group term life insurance policy you have through work, let's say you make it all the way through retirement age and now you're in your 60s. You retire. If you don't have life insurance and you didn't get it when you were younger, well, when you try to get life insurance now in your 60s, you may not get approved for it because you may have some underlying health conditions now. Even if you don't, you're older and let's say seasoned in life, it's not going to be as affordable as it could have been in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. You're in your mid 60s now. So it's going to be a lot more expensive for you to get coverage if you are able to get approved. Okay? And now that you're retired, you don't have the income stream coming in. So that's a downfall when you look at term life insurance. Now, all of our term policies, Just so you guys know, all of our term policies have something called living benefits, which gains you access to a portion of the death benefit to use while you're alive. This is why I always say on a lot of my videos, hey, if life throws you a curveball of a heart attack, stroke, cancer, Alzheimer's, even if you lose a limb, you can gain access to a portion of your death benefit to use while you're alive to pay hospital bills, provide long-term care service should you need it, use as a source of income if you're unable to go back to work, or if Megan, if you just want to have Brad Pitt give you a sponge bath, there you go. Just playing with you. But living benefits is important, guys. And it only comes with policies that you own. Okay. Obviously, the best type of policy to have is the one that's enforced the day you pass away. But we use life insurance a little bit different than most people use life insurance. For instance, we use life insurance how the top 5% of the wealthy use life insurance. And that's how we teach middle class is this is what the wealthy do. This is what the banks do with your money. This is what the big corporations and C-suite executives have been doing for years. This is what the Rockefellers have been doing. This is what Sam Walton's been doing. This is what Walt Disney did to build Disney World down in Florida because no bank would give him a loan. It was a wetland area. Okay? What did Ashley say? Ashley said that's a small competition compared to the population. Absolutely. She's referring to the 108,000 active life insurance agents. There's over 300. What was it? 324 million in the population, and we only have 108,000 active licensed life insurance agents. Guys, this is why you're starting to see the rise in GoFundMe accounts and barbecue chicken place sales. Every time you log into Facebook, you see another GoFundMe account running through their page. They don't know the value of life insurance anymore. They think of it as death. And who wants to talk about death? Nobody wants to talk about death. So when I'm out and about and I'm talking to people, I'm networking, I'm at events, I don't talk about life insurance because the average person doesn't know what life insurance does, what it's meant to do. It's called life insurance, guys. It's not called death insurance. So I don't approach people and start instantly talking about life insurance. This is what I say. Guys, what's your current retirement strategy? What's on everybody's mind right now, especially if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s? Retirement. Hey, I don't know if this will be of any interest to you or not, but if I were to show you how you could get the upside growth potential of the market and not experience any of the losses during market corrections while providing other benefits to you and your family that you can use while you're alive, is that a conversation that you want to have? Hey, if I could show you how to minimize taxes during your retirement years and keep more of your retirement money for you instead of Uncle Sam, is that a conversation that you want to have? Hey, if I could show you how to build and compound wealth, be able to transfer it tax-free to your beneficiaries and to your next of kin, is that a conversation that you want to have? What do most people say when you start saying things like that? Yeah, I want to learn that. Hey, guess what? That's actually a life insurance policy. Let me show you how it works. Boom, run an illustration. Once they see the numbers and you walk them through it, don't just show them a sheet of numbers. They're not going to understand it. Walk them through it. Explain it. Better yet, have your client on the call while you're structuring the policy, explaining what you're doing. That way they know. All of my clients know how to structure their policy. They know the red flags to look for. And that's how I present it to them. Hey, even if you guys decide not to go with me, I appreciate you sitting down, taking the time out of your busy day to look at one of these policies. This is what it is. This is how I'm structuring it. This is why. These are the red flags to look for. Boom, 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 boom. This is what it looks like. Here's the numbers. Bam, 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 bam. This is what it would look like at your 65. And it would pay you all the way the rest of your life, tax-free money, until you're 120. That's why the majority of the people I sit with, and this is something my business partner gets on to me all the time. He's like, Alex, why are you spending an hour with a client? Why are you spending 2 hours with a client? Because I'm teaching them. If you're not building this relationship and if you're not teaching somebody what you're doing with their money, how do you expect them to have any value from it? So while the majority of life insurance agents are, 2, 3, 4 sit closes, I'm a one or two sit close. That's why I spend time with my clients. I want them to understand what they're getting into. I want them to understand how to use this policy. They're paying for it. They got to learn how to use it. Otherwise, this doesn't do any good until they pass away. I don't want them not to wait until they pass away for them to start building wealth for their family. I want them to learn how to use this thing so that they can compound it and have exponential growth in the wealth of their family, and then pass it on, to their beneficiary. Let them enjoy it. Let them build up. I never understood why people would pay or would play video games, computer games like Grand Theft Auto and Vice City and Call of Duty. Guys, you can do that in real life. Maybe you wouldn't want to do Call of Duty in real life because maybe you suck at it and you'd probably die. But guys, the character that you build in those games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, Sims, you could actually put the time, energy, and effort into your own life and build you that way. If you want that lifestyle, don't go with a ninja sword out there on the sidewalk and start slashing people like you would in Grand Theft Auto and swiping their car, but you could put that time, energy, and effort into growing you as a person. And it all starts with, who are you surrounding yourself with? What events are you attending? Who are you listening to? And what are you reading? What books are you reading? I tell you, who you're surrounding yourself is a powerful one. Because I got out of Oklahoma for that. I wasn't surrounding myself with the right people. I was surrounding myself with people that were like me. It was hard to elevate. I was a mechanic. I was a biker. I was surrounded by other mechanics and bikers. And every other word that we had was a cuss word. That wasn't growing me. But when I decided to get uncomfortable, get out of my natural surroundings and start surrounding myself with higher level individuals, the people that I aspired to be like, people I wanted to be like, they started elevating. They challenged my mindset. They challenged me with books to read. I wasn't a reader, guys. I hated books. Now I read 2, 3, 4 books a month. It's crazy. And the nuggets you pick up in books, you're intellectually stimulated. Your vocabulary builds. You start using words that you've never used before. You start not cussing every other word. But your mindset expands. And that's what you're really after. You need people in your life that's going to challenge you. You show me your 5 friends that you hang out with, I'm going to show you your future. And if your 5 friends that you surround yourself with the majority of the time don't have the lifestyle that you want, you're all just complaining about the same thing, but nobody ever does anything about it, maybe it's time to get some new friends. Just a suggestion. But let's move on to the next topic, guys. We talked about chargebacks. We talked about leads. We talked about a little bit of the history of the industry, the average insurance agent. We're anything but average, guys. I don't want you to make $70,000 a year. That's not life-changing income. That's not going to set you financially free or your family financially free. That's why the majority of our agents, they start out maybe a little slow, depending on their market, depending on their network. But the average agent in our industry, not in our industry, and in our agency, they're 6-figure earners, guys. When you cross over that $100,000 threshold, our music quit. YouTube's probably wondering if I'm still there. Yep. When you cross over that 6-figure threshold, guys, and you cross over 100,000 in income in our agency, we shake your hand and say, "Congratulations, welcome to minimum wage." Because that's minimum wage for our guys. 100,000 is not a lot of income yet. I mean, millions not even a lot of money nowadays. You don't even have food freedom where you can stop looking at the right side of the menu and you can actually look at the left side of the menu and determine what you want until you cross over 250,000 in income. And that depends on your family size. I've got one of our business partners. He's got 7 kids. It takes more than $2,500 a month just for groceries for them. They're all teenage boys except for one. One of them's a girl. I couldn't imagine feeding a family like that. I've got 2 boys, and then they keep me busy. So don't let the numbers misskew you guys if you are looking to get involved in the life insurance field. Yeah, it says when you look it up, the average agent makes $70,000 a year. We don't teach our agents to be average because we're not slinging life insurance for death. When you start getting in things like what we're involved with advanced market strategies, when you start getting in things like key person policies, executive bonus, life insurance, retirement planning, you're not dealing with policies that are 20, 30 bucks a month policies. You're dealing with policies that people that want to put 400, 500, 800 a month away into them to save towards retirement, or you're looking at policies that people are wanting to front load 20, 50, 100,000 for the year to become their own bank. The commissions are drastically different when you transition from your typical life insurance agent to an advanced market specialist. So that's why I say 100,000 it's cute, right? So let me get this screen share going on, guys, because I do want to share a few articles with you. And for those of you that are on TikTok, I'll kind of swing you over here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Let me get this pulled up here for us. Okie Mama, what's up, Okie Mama? Originally, I'm from Oklahoma. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to Jenks High School. But let me pull this over here. I'm down here in Dallas, Texas now. Dallas, Texas. Let's see if I can swing this camera around so I can at least. Nope, that's just hearting myself. I don't want to heart myself. Poll, draw, text poll. Yeah, I guess I can't swing the camera around. Oh, yeah, I can. Flip camera. Bam! Check that out. Cool. All right, so now you guys can kind of read along with me. So the insurance sector at a glance. There you go. Back in 2019. Wow. So 2019, it states, and this is on, this is insuranceb.com. You guys can look that up, insuranceb.com. Insurance agent sector at a glance. They're saying in 2019, we had almost 550,000 insurance agents were working in the United States. 56.2% of these insurance carriers worked as insurance carriers, and 40.8% worked in agencies, brokerages, and other insurance-based activities. But that doesn't say that they're active. Independent insurance agents tend to focus on business customers, manage 80% of commercial insurance policies. So 80% of them is commercial. They're saying the industry grew 2.7% in 2020. That was during COVID. So everybody was looking at additional ways they could make money from home. That's why it grew. Everybody else was doing layoffs in the insurance area. The insurance industry grew. Number of agents in the U.S. grew between 2018 and 2019 by 14.9%. More and more people, guys, are getting involved in the insurance world because it has passive income. And you don't have to wait for it. It's not like the equity in the homes, or it's not like, rental properties. After your first year, you have a 7% override. Steady growth of 7% for the next decade is what they're expecting. I bet it grows more than that. The thing is do you guys want to get in on the ground floor and be able to build your own agencies like what I did now, or do you want to wait? They're saying the median annual salary for an insurance, and that's another thing you got to work at. It's a salary. I don't like salary. It's you working for a company like Farmers or State Farm, and they're telling you how much you're worth. I'd much rather deal with commission, because in commission, you're paid based on what you do. You determine your worth. So I don't like salary. I don't want to be Jake from State Farm. Number of life insurance sales agents in 2021 was 104,000. 36,000 of these are independent agencies. That's what we are, guys. We're an independent agency. They're saying less than 150,000 in revenue. Oh, that's for the entire agency. So they're considering a small agency 150,000 or less in revenue. Medium agencies 150 to 499 in revenue. This is annually. That accounted for 27% of the sector. So right now, for you guys, if you're curious, that's where I'm at as far as my agency goes. This year, we're probably going to be here. We're going to be in the medium to large because we should be close to 1 million by the end of this year, towards December. At the growth and at the pace that we're on. Keep in mind, I've been doing this I'm on my 4th year. Or no, I'm still on my 3rd year. Almost 4 years. And there you go. There's the average. But that, again, that's the salary. That's not commission. Commission's different than salary. Salary, like I said, you're allowing somebody else to tell you how much you're worth. I don't like that. I don't like having a boss. I don't like somebody sending me emails saying per my last email. Highest number of insurance agencies are in Florida, Tennessee, and Ohio. Reason for Ohio, I know that reason. If you guys are in Ohio, it's $15 for the, it's for a non-resident. So it's $15 for a non-resident license in the state of Ohio. I think for residents, $25. It's the cheapest state to get licensed in, Ohio. Got a lot of clients in Ohio, got a lot of clients in Florida. I've got clients in Tennessee. I'm licensed in over 38 states, guys. You only have to take the test once. You only have to take the test in your resident state. Okay. They're saying the average annual salary, again, there's that word I hate. New York, sorry for you guys that are there, is 93,000. So here's something to keep in mind, and I want to bring this up to let you guys know about it. How do I switch back? Flip camera. There we go. Come back. All right. So New York. I want to let you guys on YouTube, Facebook, all you guys, and you guys know on TikTok. New York, if you are in New York or if you plan on being a licensed agent in New York, not every carrier is going to work with you. Okay? There's only a few carriers that you can sell and work with in the state of New York. Reason being is what's in New York. Somebody said on Facebook, Wall Street. Exactly. Wall Street is one of the competitors of life insurance companies. Think of it. There's 3 entities that want control over your money. That's the banking industry, that's Wall Street, and that's the U.S. government. Those are 3 entities that do not want middle class America to take control back of their money. So New York, a lot of money is there. In Wall Street, they have a lot of lobbyists. They can lobby against Congress, and they can kick life insurance companies out. So for you guys in New York, the best bet is I hope you guys have family in other states or a rent house or another place of residence in another state other than New York. Just saying. I'm dealing with a couple of clients in New York right now. It's taken forever on their policies because of all the state regulations. Interestingly, the Midwest and East Coast states have the highest location quote. Okay, so these are the highest metropolitan areas, highest employment levels of sales agents. So there's a lot of sales agents in New York, which is kind of strange since not a whole lot of carriers are in New York. Los Angeles makes sense. Big city. Chicago makes sense. Dallas, that's where I'm at. Makes perfect sense. A lot of business happens here. Miami, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Tampa, Seattle, and Houston. None of the reasons makes sense. I have a lot of real estate investors that are clients in the Houston area. But that's just going over types of the what you need as far as insurance if you were to do this as a business. You do have to have E&O insurance. E&O If something were to happen, you want to have E&O in place. Generally, guys, it's anywhere from $15 to $35 a month for E&O. So yeah, Market Watch. There's a couple of things that's popping up on Market Watch regarding life insurance. Major risk facing older Americans, need for long-term care. Well, if you have a life insurance policy with living benefits, you don't have to have a long-term care rider or a long-term care policy because you have living benefits. Let's see. Insurance group, property. Let's see. Let's find some interesting headlines. I was forced to take Social Security retirement benefits at 62 instead of Social. Oh, she was 75 or 71 now. That's another thing, guys. Do you really want to rely on Social Security during your retirement years? Do you want to have government benefits that you have to rely on, or would you rather know that you have a strong foundation in your retirement years because you have a life insurance retirement plan or a fixed indexing annuity, and you're going to be certain to have a lifetime income stream coming in during your retirement years all the way until you're 120 to make sure that you don't ever become a Walmart greeter? If you rely on Social Security, they can change that at any time, any year. And the people like me that are in their 30s and the people in their 20s, that's not going to be around. Even if it is, it's going to be pennies. So you always want to have a three-legged stool during your retirement. Okay, if you don't have at least three sources of income coming in during your retirement, you have a wobbly retirement stool. You're more than likely going to have to be a Walmart greeter. You're going to run out of money before your demise. This is a website called Zippia. Just found this website this morning. One of my business partners mentioned it. He pulled it up. But here's some pros and cons. We'll go over a little bit of them. Insurance agents, pros and cons. If you guys are seriously considering getting involved in this industry, opportunity for career advancement, 100%. I was able to become a broker in less than 2 years. Flexible working hours. I make my own schedule. You can too. You can start part-time, spare time, in between time. A lot of stay-at-home moms do this. A lot of realtors do this. A lot of working professionals do this. So people just like you can get your insurance license and you can do this. I got a question here on TikTok. Brian Wynn. Should I start getting my pension at 50, then get my Social Security at 55? That's totally up to you, Brian. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an insurance agent. I just deal with advanced market strategies. If you got a pension, brother, good on you, man. There's not a whole lot of pensions going around anymore. So if you have the ability to have access to your pension, you might consider looking into an IUL or a fixed indexing annuity. If you're going to use it for retirement, look into a fixed indexing annuity. And that's something that we do. You can click the link in my bio. You can schedule a free consultation. You can see what one would look like for you. But yeah, it's a good product. There's different ones out there. So it all depends on how much you have access to, how soon you want to be able to start using it, that sort of thing. We can have that conversation offline. Training and support provided by the company. Yep. And the cool thing about ours is we don't charge for it. We do not charge for training or support with our company. We just ask you to get licensed. So it's $99 for pre-licensing. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to get you enrolled. And then, bam, you're off to the races. You can go through all your pre-licensing modules. Part-timers training is unlocked for you. It's every Tuesdays and Saturdays. Hop on a part-timers call via Zoom. All of our trainings last for generally about 90 minutes. But guys, if you have 8 to 10 hours a week to set aside to learn a new skill, you can do this and have additional income coming in. And the ability to work in a stable, what does this pop up? Stable industry with consistent demand. 100%. There is always going to be a demand for life insurance agents. That's something AI cannot do. AI cannot build a relationship, connect with somebody on an emotional level. AI is never going to replace this. There's a lot of truck drivers that are worried about their jobs right now because these self-driving trucks are starting to come out. Let me know in the chat box, are any truck drivers tuning in? And if so, what city and state are you guys logging in from? Cons. Let's go over for a few of the cons. So pressure to meet sales quotas and targets. Only if you're a captive agent. If you're Jake from State Farm, Flo from Progressive, yes, you're going to 100% have a lot of pressure and sales quotas and demands put on you, but you don't own your book of business. So this is another thing I want to talk to you guys about. Owning your book of business. So, you guys back over here on your little stand and talk to you a little bit about equity or owning your book of business. So, stop sharing my screen. So, guys, the agencies that are out there, if you guys are looking at becoming a farmer's agent, if you guys are looking to be an Allstate agent, a State Farm agent, whatever, those are considered captive agents. Okay, you can only sell that product even if it's not in your client's best interest. Captive agents also, the majority of them do not own their book of business. So you can't sell your business. It's nothing that you're going to be building up and then passing down to your kids, grandkids, or selling to somebody else and making a nice profit from it and having an exit strategy. You're basically working a job. So you want to be in a position to where you're in an environment, in an industry, and a part of a company to where you're owning your book of business day one. Everything you write up, all your clients, the agents that you build and you train underneath you, those are things that are you're building your own business, your own agency. And then, yeah, eventually if you decide I'm done with this, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to get out of the industry, I want to retire, you can actually sell your book of business to another agent or another broker. Okay, typically it'd be a broker at that point. Okay, but you're owning your book of business. Nobody can take it from you. I can't call one of my agents. What's going on, John Trundle? John Trundle's logging in here. He's up in Minnesota. He's one of my agents up there. But John owns his own book of business. I can't call John up and go, hey, John, I'd sure like it if you'd not make money this month. I'm tired of getting your overrides. You think John's going to say, oh, okay, well, I just won't help anybody this month? No, he's going to say, step out of the way, old man. I'm making as much money as I want to make this month. You can't tell me any different. That's how we're structured, guys. And I say overrides. Yeah, there's overrides. And it's not dipping into our downline's money. So it's not like an MLM or pyramid. It's not like Mary Kay, Tupperware, Avon, any of those traditional multi-level marketing things. It's like real estate, guys. When you sell a house, you're dealing with, or when you list a house, you're dealing with an agent, okay? And then once you decide you want to buy that house, make an offer and close, you go with dealing with the agent and a broker, okay? The broker overrides that agent. Depending on the company, the agent can actually lose part of their commissions to the broker or have to pay the broker out of their commissions. We're not structured like that. We're structured with the difference in contract levels. So for instance, John's at a 70% contract. John's at a 70% contract. I'm at a 90% contract. I override John the difference in contract levels of 20%. So anything John does towards his next promotion level until he hits 80%, I override 20%. Now, as John's building his business, I'm still building mine too. So even if he hits 80%, I can either be comfortable, let John catch up to me and stay at 90, or I can continue to build my book of business, and I'm going to build brokers because that's the part I am right now. I'm a broker, so I'm solving for more brokers. Once I help John become a broker, well, that pushes me to my next level. So now he's at a 90%. I'm now at a 100% or 110% or 120%. Depends on how many brokers I build at this point. But guys, if you have any questions regarding typical insurance companies, carriers, compared to actual independent fiduciary companies and carriers, shoot me a DM, schedule a session, click the link in the bio, scan the QR code. It's pretty much all out there. I'm available as long as it's cleared up on my calendar. So if you click the link and you see a date and a time that works for you, pick a date and a time, hop on. Let's chat for 30 minutes. That's making me miss my Harley. All right, next. May require long hours and weekend work to accommodate the client's schedule. Well, we're always accommodating our client's schedule. So they're saying if you were working, again, this is more like property casualty and stuff. But yeah, I deal with a lot of clients and a lot of my agents in the evenings and on weekends because the majority, 80% of our guys are still part-time. They're working professionals. They're doing their 9-to-5 thing, but then they're doing this on the side, so they can only attend trainings generally on nights and weekends. So as a broker, I'm giving up my time to build somebody else. This is where more of that passive income comes in, especially when you start building people in different time zones. I'm in the central time zone. Well, as soon as the sun rises on the East Coast, I'm making money. As soon as the sun's setting on the West Coast, I'm making money, whether I do anything or not, because I'm still overriding on all of my agents that I'm training and I'm helping and I'm building. Make sense? Plus, I still have residual income stream coming in on every policy that I write from the previous years. So this is why it's a people business. If you get involved in this industry, especially on our agency, it's a people business, guys. It's building relationships. It's helping somebody else get to their next. Potential for rejection. Okay. I guess I have thick skin. There's not a whole lot that bothers me. It's kind of why I'm on social media too. You can't take social media that serious because you're always going to have trolls. You're always going to have some people. I mean, there's always somebody in the comment section. I guarantee you there's somebody in this comment section right now that's going to comment on the gap in my teeth. Dealing with it all my life, guys. Don't really care. Not involved on what we're talking about. If it bothered me that much, I'd get it fixed. It doesn't bother me that much. I'd rather spend my money to make other money. Just me. Eventually, maybe I'll get it fixed, but it doesn't bother me enough right now. Can it be stressful? Oh, can be stressful due to the high stakes involved in protecting clients' assets and well-being. I mean, I guess if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't have any training, if you don't have anybody that you're following, you don't have a mentor, I could see where it could, I guess, be stressful. Thankfully, I've always had a mentor and a business coach, so I always knew what I was doing. Not really that stressful. You can ask my guys that are a part of our group. It's not really that stressful. You're always going to have somebody where if you don't know the answer, the best thing that you can tell your client is, hey, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to find out, or I'm going to introduce you to the gentleman that does know that, or the lady that does know that. People appreciate you being honest with you guys. If you don't know, you don't know. That's a great question. I don't know yet. Or if you're just getting started, that's a great question. I just got started. I'm still learning. But I can definitely use this as a practice appointment. Let me get my broker on. Bam. Practice appointment.
Now you can listen or watch the podcast you love on YouTube.
Let's go to Forbes. Forbes has got a couple of good articles usually. Asking me if I'm still here. Of course I'm still here. I'm verifying. There. Bam. What's going on, Jeremy? Bam, bam, bam. They're saying, okay, so this is an article on Forbes. It says the public investment sector is shrinking. One potential challenge for investors and advisors alike is finding those options and true diversification in today's publicly available equity capital marketplace. Well, try and say that 5 times fast. According to a KKR analysis, boy, be careful saying that. KKR, not the other one. KKR analysis from 2022. The number of publicly listed companies in the U.S. has dropped significantly over the past 30 years. And there is an estimated 64 times more private firms than public. That doesn't really surprise me with the growth of BlackRock and others. And one recent estimate categorizes 87% of the U.S. companies with 100 million or more in revenue as privately owned. Let me know in the comments there. I'm not heavily involved in the stocks and that kind of stuff. I do a little bit of crypto, but I don't like risking my money on things that aren't really sure things. So investment's one of those life insurance is one of those sure things to where you're guaranteed, and that's something that a financial advisor can't say. You can't say guarantee anything, which is another reason why they hate us in New York. But life insurance guarantees that you'll never lose money. That's why it's not considered an investment. It's actually considered a tier 1 asset. If you were to go to a website, I'll pull it up right now. There's a website called BOLI-COLI. Bank-owned life insurance is what BOLI stands for. COLI stands for corporate-owned life insurance. But you go to BOLICOLI.com. And this is what the majority of the banks out there, it's not going to pull up. Majority of the banks place your money in what's called tier 1 assets. They're capitalizing on 6 to 12% market gains, never experiencing any of the losses, having access to that money, and they're passing you off 0.03 to 0.06. So they do that, but they also do fractional reserve lending. This is why Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank went under last year, is because they were doing too much fractional reserve lending. Fractional reserve lending is for every dollar you put into a bank account, they loan it out 9 times in nanoseconds in the form of loans. Okay. So if it's good enough for the banks to do this as far as a tier 1 asset goes, to put your money to work for them, shouldn't it be good enough for you to put your money to work for you without having any losses and having access to it at any age? That's why it's another reason these things are called, as far as IULs, when it comes to life insurance, you hear things about infinite banking, all that stuff, life insurance, retirement planning. It's a product known as an IUL. It's an indexing universal life policy. It gains you access at any age, depending on how it's structured and how much you're putting into it. The idea behind it is you want to max fund your policy if you're trying to become your own bank. So if you set up and structure a policy for $200 a month or $500 a month, you're actually putting in $400 a month or $1,000 a month to max it out. I just got an email. I don't know if you guys are seeing this or not over here in the corner. Yes, I'm getting an email from Tate. Anyway, yes, I am a member. Anyway, this is just going over some different types of invest. I mean, again, this is a Forbes article. This one here is talking about private placement life insurance products and alternative investments. I don't like how they say that because they're kind of making it look like life insurance is an investment, and it's not. We can't say that. You can actually lose your license talking to people about investments unless you're a financial advisor or have a series license. And if you do have a series license, you can't be on social media talking about it. It's another reason why I don't have one. But they're talking about the benefits of using a life insurance policy in that way. Again, they're saying that word, which I don't agree with. But it says this can include choices from thousands. They're talking about hedge funds, private equity, real estate, non-traditional asset classes. That's a life insurance policy. So anytime you see non-traditional asset class, it's a life insurance policy. Stability and customization. Some whole life, you've got flexibility called modern whole life, not traditional whole life. I like IULs better because as far as a long-term tool, and I look at everything as long-term. As far as a long-term tool, IULs I like better than modern lives. If you're just thinking of accessibility up front, quick, you're not you're not concerned about a legacy for your family or anything like that, modern whole life could be an option for you. I like passing on generational wealth, though. You do that with an IUL. What's going on, Fernando? You got any questions in the TikTok, or we just got everybody hopping in, hopping out? Looks like everybody's just hopping in, hopping out. It's okay. Hey, wealth is not for everybody. That's okay. Competitive edge. Oh, look, obvious. I mean, the competitive edge is obvious when it comes to life insurance versus traditional. Business. What do we got in the business sector? Let's look at Wall Street Journal here. Business. Gucci. Oh no. Gucci experts. Revenue drop on lower Gucci sales. Who has the money for Gucci right now? Simple man. He's a simple man. What's going on, man? There's not a whole lot that's happening in the Wall Street Journal world. Let's look at let's look at retirement. See some retirement articles that the Wall Street Journal's pumping out. Ooh. The first thing that pops up as far as personal finance and retirement, more Americans are treating their 401ks like cash machines. That does not sound good. That does not sound good at all. Let's read this. Automatic enrollment swept more workers into 401k accounts, giving them some savings to draw on in emergencies. I did a TikTok about this earlier. If you take a loan on a 401k and you lose that job, you have no choice. You have to pay that loan back. And if you don't, then you take a penalty and you get taxed on it as earned income. Don't take a loan on your 401k. And if you have access to do a rollover or in-service transfer, this is something you guys might want to look into. If you have the ability to do an in-service transfer, the majority of employers won't let you do this, especially if they match. But you can do an in-service transfer and use that 401k money, putting it into a potentially better product for you, like a fixed indexing annuity, if that's what you're wanting to do, is use it as a source of savings towards your retirement. And you can minimize taxes, and you could get a bonus on your money depending on which carrier you go with for your fixed indexing annuity. The annuities are a different beast. They're an insurance tool, and it's something you learn with our agency as well as sorry, I'm reading the article again. As far as estate planning, you'll learn about annuities, you'll learn about trusts, all that stuff with our firm, because we do it. We do it all. We do not only life insurance, we do annuities, and we do trusts. We do estate planning. We just started that this year. So we just got into trusts and estate planning this year. We got our start with life insurance, with the life insurance retirement plans, infinite banking concepts, key person policies, executive bonus plans. But now we do trusts too. So it's pretty cool to be able to offer that for our clientele. This is just an article by Insurance Newsnet, which is a very good magazine, especially if you're in our world. Insurance regulators vow to have a single long-term care rate review plan by the fall. I don't deal with long-term care, so that doesn't really affect me. Like I said, it's nice to have the ability to offer living benefits on all of our policies, provided you qualify for it, health wise. Because when you have living benefits, you're really not that concerned with long term care. There we go. This one's good. How social media makes client acquisition smarter and cheaper. We've been doing this for years. That's why I have over 60,000 TikTokers on here. I'd rather teach you how to fish versus give you fish. Social media, it's free, guys. If you aren't using social media in your business, what are you doing? I was talking about the old way. Door knockings just don't work anymore. Yeah, don't. Who wants to door knock? Who wants to cold call? Build your platform on social media, and it can actually work for you while you're sleeping, because your reels and your TikToks and your content's always going to be out there. Even this is going to circulate. And let me know. I'm curious to see in the chat. Not so much on TikTok because it's kind of one and done with TikTok, but for the rest of you guys on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, let me know in the comments. Are you watching this live or are you watching this on a replay? I'm kind of curious. I bet the majority of you is on a replay. Let's go back here.
Background play on the YouTube Music app. You can play official tracks and live recordings in the background.
There's another estate planning and life insurance for the 99%. Again, guys, if you're an agent of ours, you'll deal with 99%, but you're going to be dealing with them, teaching them what the 1% of the wealthy do. Again, and it'll take time. I mean, if you're looking in getting involved in a life insurance policy to become your own bank or uses capital to get into businesses and other things, it's not going to happen overnight, guys, unless you have an inheritance or a large lump sum or settlement or something that you're trying to do something with, and then bam, turn it into something else. That's not the majority of people. The majority of people are, just starting to set aside something, unfortunately, because we weren't taught how money works and how money grows in the education system. So they're, putting away 200, 400, 500 bucks a month towards something, and then eventually, after a couple of years, they'll be able to, have enough built up as cash value to leverage as capital or operating expenses or to live off of or towards retirement. That's other things you're going to learn as agents with us, is you're going to learn how to structure these things to benefit what your client's wanting to do. It's not a one size fits all, guys. Not a one size fits all. This one's talking about what kind of life insurance should I buy? Well, if you don't have any at all, and you're kind of strapped for income, might look at a 20 or 30-year term policy. Downfall with a term is, it ends, but at least you have coverage, it has living benefits, and it'll have you something in place because it gives you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of cost. Okay? Downfall is it ends. There is a term policy out there that I can recommend, and I use this typically as a form of mortgage protection. It's called a return of premium. A little bit more expensive than a traditional term policy. It does have living benefits, but you can get it for 20 or 30 years. The reason I use it as a form of mortgage protection is because most mortgages are 30 years. So since most mortgages are 30 years, why have a term policy that at the end of the 30-year time frame is just going to go away? And now, do you think you ever see those premiums back? No, they're gone. It's kind of like auto insurance. If you have auto insurance and you're paying for auto insurance on a monthly basis, do you ever see those premiums back? And I'm curious too in the comments, if you do have auto insurance, which hopefully you do if you have a car, what kind of car are you rocking? What are you driving? More importantly, if you're not already driving your dream car, what's your dream car? I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. What is your dream car? One of my dream cars, just so you guys have a little bit more knowledge of me, one of my dream cars, I'm an old school guy, but I also like modern stuff too. So I have a couple of dream cars. Bear with me. I'm a car guy. Our music stopped again. Where's that? There we go. So I got a couple of dream cars. I got a McLaren 720S Spider. It's one of my dream cars. Another one of my dream car is a Mercedes SLS. Yes, the hardtop with the gull wing doors. And then I would love to have a Maserati Gran Turismo convertible, just because I've got the kiddos. It's got a back seat that's usable, unlike a Porsche, unlike a Ferrari. The Maserati Gran Turismo convertible is an actual usable back seat. Modern cars, that's my dream cars. What's yours? I also like classic cars. My mom has a classic car. She has a 1965 Pontiac GTO. I've got a 1978 Pontiac Grand Prix. I used to have a 1972 Ford Bronco. Still kicking myself in my own ass for getting rid of that, because that thing was awesome. Wasn't a really streetable vehicle because it had a 9-inch lift with Super Swamper TSL boggers, 37-inch tires on it with bead locks. Not really a usable vehicle on the street, but it was fun on the trails, man. It was badass. I actually traded. I had a 2005 KTM SX250 that I traded straight across for it. The gentleman owned a junkyard in Oklahoma, and he was using it to run over cars. So I used it to take up to Grand Lake. I liked going up to Grand, riding some trails, going out rock crawling over by the lake. It was a lot of fun. Well, what's some of your dream cars, guys? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. I'd love to know your dream car. And let's get back to talking about our topics here. You see, you guys got me off topic. What about employee benefit life insurance? So that goes back to group term policies, and I'm not a fan. I mean, if it's of no cost as an employee, sure, get it. But don't rely on that as your only life insurance policy. We already discussed that earlier. Don't need to discuss it again. This was talking about estates. A good estate planning lawyer will not be happy with you having only employee benefits. Yeah, he won't. No, you need to have something that you own, and it's building value, which is why term policies don't build value, just so you guys know. Only whole life, IUL, and GULs build cash value. So there again, depends on what you're trying to use the policy for. For the estate plan to work, the estate needs liquid assets. True, that goes back to the cash value life insurance. If you're not in control of your employee benefit insurance, which the majority of you, if you do have insurance, life insurance to your work, you're not in control over it because you don't own it. If you leave that employer, you may not be able to take your coverage with you. Majority of the times you can't. It's non-transferable. There are some out there that are good employees or good employers that allow you to transfer it and own it after you leave, but the majority of them don't. Estate planning, life insurance are not concerns for only the wealthy. That's true. It should be a concern of everyone for you to have a proper policy and a proper plan to have in place should life throw you guys a curveball. And it's really good at doing that nowadays. Just going over some more estate planning stuff. Again, that's insurancenewsnet.com if you guys want to look it up. We reviewed Wall Street Journal, a couple of different topics on that one. Talked about 401ks. We talked a little bit more about Forbes articles. This one here is talking about on Forbes the dynamic and complex modern workforce. The 4 generations represented in this study all approach the topic of mental wellness differently. Gen Z expects this to be fixed already. Leveraging mental wellness resources is normalized for this generation. Any Gen Zers in the comments? I doubt it. Millennials. I don't know if I should be proud or not, but I'm going to say I'm proud. I'm a proud millennial. Born in 87. Millennials were raised to believe it's problematic but fixable. They're inclined to have the attitude to roll up their sleeves and get to work because we all deserve a better approach. I agree with that. What are your thoughts? Are you a millennial, a Gen Z, Gen X, a boomer? Probably not too many boomers on here. There may be a few boomers on here. My parents are boomers. A couple of my business partners are Gen X's. Let's read about those. Gen X recognizes it's a problematic subject, but just tries to get through it. That sounds like a Gen Xer. That explains some of my business partners. Boomers were taught to tough it out and not talk about it. That definitely is a boomer. But let me know your opinion, guys. Let me know your opinion. Are you a boomer, a Gen X, millennial, Gen Z? And what is your thoughts on the topic of mental wellness that's happening and that you're seeing? And are you seeing a mental wellness problem or issue in this time period? And look who we have in our office right now, the office of the White House. We've got a very strong mental problem in the White House right now. Financial wellness and mental health are interconnected. Ooh, let's look at this. It's proven that financial wellness affects mental wellness. Safety and security are at stake in both areas, so it's no surprise one influences the other. The impact on mental wellness is strongest when financial pressure is highest. I agree with that, which is why financial services is very important. And why our industry is very important is because somebody's got to teach people the rules of the money game. It's obviously not being taught in schools. Impact of financial wellness on mental wellness: 26% say extreme, 39% say large, 20% say moderate, 7 slight, 8 none. Say, I'd agree with large. Large to extreme, probably leaning more to the extreme. Poor mental health decreases motivation and focus at work. When mental wellness takes a toll, the ability to complete tasks decreases, and in turn, more resources from the company are needed to recover, negatively affecting finances. It's true. It's true. Moreover, I mean, it seems more and more like we're getting paid just enough if you're an hourly employee. And just let me know if you see this in your own workforce or your own workplace. If you're an hourly employee, your company, it just seems like they're paying you just enough to stay there. And they're paying you just enough to where you do just enough work not to get fired. Let me know. Do you think that's true? But guys, it's been an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, spending some time with me today, hearing me talk about finances, kind of the realm of our industry, the services that we have, what we do with our agents, the opportunity that's potentially available for you. And if you guys want to learn more about our industry, if you want to see something for yourself, please don't hesitate to click the link in the bio of the page, schedule a free consultation. It's free knowledge. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm not going to try and coerce you or trap you or nothing. We lead with value and education first and foremost. That's why we are fiduciary agents. And always smash the like button, smash the follow button so you're aware of more content as it comes out. You get notified when the lives start happening. We're going to have more and more of these lives coming up. We got a few business partners that we're going to have on as special guests, and I'd love to interact more with you guys as well. Smash the like, smash the follow button. Leave me a comment over on the side. I'd love to read through these comments and see where you guys are from, hear about your favorite cars, your dream cars, and just kind of what your thoughts are on a couple of the topics that we had today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Go out there and spread love to somebody. Give them a big old hug. When's the last time somebody complimented you and said, "Man, I love your shirt," or "Man, you love your energy. You just give off a great vibe today." Go out and compliment somebody today. And if somebody's struggling, having a hard day, you take notice of it. Give them a big old bear hug and say, "You know what? It's all uphill from here. It's going to get better." So appreciate you guys spending time with me today. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. God bless.